Author is funded by the Pacific Northwest Writers Association, supporting writers from pen to publication since 1955. To learn more about the PNWA and their yearly conference, please go to pnwa.org. Hi, this is Bill Kenower of Author Magazine, and today I'm in the Seattle home of Garth Stein, author of A Sudden Light. Garth, welcome to Author.
Thanks so much, Bill. Good to have you back.
Garth, here we are. I think it's been 6 or 7 years since we did our first interview together.
Yes.
The Art of Racing in the Rain had just come out.
Had to be 2008.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So how has this 6-7 years been for you now?
Well, it's been fabulous. I mean, I've had such a great time, experiencing the growth of Enzo, the narrator dog of The Art of Racing in the Rain, and seeing how Enzo is embraced by the world. And quite frankly, it's a little bit like crack, I mean, it's highly addictive, it's fun to do, and you always need more. And so, I did an initial book tour, and then I did a supplemental book tour, and then I said, well, I got to do more Bay Area, and I got to do more. And so then it was 2 years tick by, and then the literary festivals start coming on. And so there's another year, and then my publicist got me on the tour for community reading programs, and I was just traveling and it's great. I mean, 5 years in, I was going to Schenectady, New York to talk to 500 people who all love the book. And what can be more gratifying than that, except I'm a writer. I'm not, that's what I do. So I need to write books. And so I was the tension grew of, I need to devote myself to finishing my next book. And so I quit. I went cold turkey, and I announced it in Schenectady. People said, whoa, we're the last.
It's like the end of Beatlemania.
Well, we broke up. I broke up. I broke up with myself, and then I devoted myself to finishing the book that I had been working on for 4 years.
The Art of Racing in the Rain was really like a lightning bolt to you.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? I mean, you just wanted it.
Yeah.
And this, I've been listening to you talk about your interest in it for a couple of years now, and you were kind of bubbling around. So, but this one was a slow build. So wasn't it?
It was in 2009. And I optimistically said, it was late in the year, and I optimistically said, sure, 6 months, no problem. Right?
Well, doesn't every writer say that probably?
I know.
Okay.
But it took a lot more than research and a lot more understanding, really, of who my characters came from. It was a lot bigger than I initially thought. And I initially thought I could just go bang, bang, bang. And it wasn't working. And so then I went back and said, well, I'm going to go chronologically from 1879 Portland and write it all the way through.
I remember you told me that. You said, now I've got it. I'm going chronologically. It's done.
It's done, right?
Right.
And so I wrote this thing, and I wrote like
how big was it?
100,000 words I got for part one.
For part one.
And then part two, I figured it was going to be about 60, 70,000 words. And so years went by, and I was working diligently on this 4 generations starting in 1879 and working up, and all these characters. I have it all. And then finally, Simon & Schuster, my editor, bugged me enough to say, look, we really need to see something. Because they were afraid, who knows? I was in Mexico sipping pina coladas with my advance money. And so I said, I have to send it. So I sent them the first part, 100,000 words.
How was that?
They didn't get back to me right away, and then a few days passed, and a few more days passed. And then I got an email saying, hey, let's have a conference call. We had the conference call, and they didn't like it. And they're like, it's not the proposal, it's not what you told us. I said, no, but it's way better because it's this whole family, and I'm getting up to, and now the second part is gonna be the proposal, because now it's all, and they're like, I can just hear them scratching their heads from it. And so they say, listen, Garth, we don't want you to disappoint your audience. And I'm thinking, well, I said out loud, I said, you know what? The only way I would not disappoint my audience is if I wrote a book told from the point of view of a cat who wanted to fly.
Right. See, but this is the truth. This is absolutely the truth. What are you going to do?
Right.
There's nothing.
So we got through it, and went through this whole thing, and then my agent called me up and said, what do you want to do? How do you want to handle this? And I said, I can't write with someone looking over my shoulder. I just can't do it. And so I kept the money, that initial payment they made me, I put it in the bank. I still have it. So let's tell them I'll give it back. Let's tear up the contract and let me go write the book I want to write. And when I'm done, we'll go to them first, right? That's a gentleman's agreement. Right. Let's just do that. And so he told them that, and they said, no.
Yeah, right. We didn't mean that.
Yeah. They said, no, take your time. So they agreed to let me have my space. They said, take your time, take your space. We understand. And so we were actually in New York visiting my in-laws at the time, and we were flying back on the airplane, and my wife and I were sitting next to each other, and we were having a little glass of white wine, because that altitude euphoria that goes in, you always think a little clearer with a glass of wine on the airplane. And so I said, I know what's going on. And she said, what are you gonna do? And I said, look, I either have to blow it up and throw it away, or I have to turn it on its head and take those 100,000 words and use that as research.
Yeah.
That was pre-writing. And now I'm going to tell the story using all that. It's going to be informed by all that,
right.
But I'm going to tell a story that then, and so I did that, and it took me a little over a year to write that, and I turned it in, and they were like, oh, okay, now we get it.
Yeah.
And then my editor helped tremendously, and we worked on it, so it wasn't done yet, but we were all in the same.
They all got it.
Yeah, we were doing.
This is your fourth novel
Yes.
you published? And the only one I haven't read is Evan Broke His Head. Evan Broke His Head? Is that
How Evan Broke His Head.
How Evan Broke His Head. And the one theme that is continuous, the three I've read, which is the first,
Raven Stole the Moon.
Raven Stole the Moon, is the sort of relation between the physical world and the spirit world.
Yeah.
This seems to be a continuing theme
Yes.
of yours. And how was that something that you discovered your interest in it through your creative work, or is that something that's always been of interest to you?
I think I've always been interested in I've always been interested. I just
call it the non-physical, whatever that means. Maybe whether it's
the energetic
ghost
realms that
Yeah.
we don't that our perceptions here. Look, we all, for convenience, we all agree on things.
Right.
We agree that gravity is this, and that light does this, and we say, okay, that works, and then we have we go in different directions at certain places, and that's part of the convention of it. But that doesn't mean that just because we all agree that green is green. Oh, that's green? Yeah, it's green. Do you think it's green? I think it's green. That doesn't mean that someone can't look at it and say, I see it as red.
Think about the writing experience for a moment.
Yeah.
You sit at your desk.
Yeah.
And you can summon any emotion.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the environment changes not.
Right.
It's just you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
yet the full life experience can pass through you without any conditional changes. You can
Yeah.
summon anything.
Right.
And we always think of our emotional life as conditional. This happened, I felt this way. This happened, I felt this way.
Right.
Yet you can sit at your desk and say, I'm going to feel love, hate, fear, jealousy.
Right.
Isn't that what you have to do in order to, just like you were
Yes.
an actor, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And so your experience, your emotional experience is disconnected from the physical experience. It's totally just an internal experience.
You can reduce it even further. You can go to, T.S. Eliot talked about, I can't think of the exact term that he used, but the idea that we've all agreed that we can make little symbols on a piece of paper with black ink, and we can line up these symbols in an order, and then I can show you these symbols, and I can make you cry.
Yeah.
And that is fascinating to me, that we can do this, that we all can agree on certain experiences.
Agreement.
And empathize.
Yes.
And have a huge emotional reaction to that. Yes, I think that's,
It's
and the creation of that is another step. Like, I always talk about when I do writing workshops and stuff, there's the art and there's the craft. And the craft is stuff that I can teach you, right?
Right.
I can teach you about POV, I can teach you about pacing, about characterization, about dramatic arcs. We can get really into the nitty gritty about it. We have word choice and repetition. We can do really tight. But there's another element, which is the inspiration, and that's the art of it, where when you're writing stuff, sometimes when I'm writing stuff, I know personally, I don't know. I don't have any idea where it came from. Right. I don't know.
Right.
It came. And as a writer, as an artist, when those moments come, now you go with that.
Yes.
Any other preconception you had, you throw away. And you make your preconceptions then, like I always work with an outline.
You too?
Oh yeah, I very much outline because I went to film school and I did screenwriting and all that. So I work with an outline, but I am always willing to throw out the outline and or change it to if something happens. Like when I was writing How Evan Broke His Head and Other Secrets, there was a scene where they're in a recording studio and blah blah blah. You know, it's just I was writing it according to my outline, and I turn around and in the middle of the scene, Evan, my main character, looks at the soundboard operator, who's this super hot young woman, and he falls in love with her. I'm like, oh crap, you gotta be kidding. Now,
part of the
yeah,
plan.
right? She was just like a prop, she was just like someone doing this. Now, so do I say, oh, be done with her? Oh. No, I gotta bring her in, and then I have to go back.
Who is she?
I gotta look at my story, and I have to replot the entire thing after that, because now my guy's in love. But that's the way to go. You can't. I really believe that we get to start that as writers. Bill, we get to start the idea. We push the ball, and we try and get a little momentum going, right? And so we have a little bit of ego in that because we said, well, it was my idea, and I'm just gonna start. Yeah, great. Take all the credit for that you want to. Once the ball is going, it's not about you. It's about the ball.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way. Help the ball, guide the ball, be true to the ball. Yeah. But the ball is rolling. Clear the path for the ball. If the ball needs help, give it a shove. But don't think it's about you, because it's not. It's about the ball.